Hello, everybody, and welcome to the False Nine podcast. This is our Premier League preview show. We've got the usual Charlie and Luke and Connor as well. Um, it's a lot to get through today, so we're going to start first off with the Merseyside Derby, and that's probably the biggest game of the weekend. I think I'm shitting myself for it as a Liverpool fan. I'm never usually shitting myself for the Merseyside Derby because obviously I'm not from the city, so I don't really get nervous for it. I get nervous for United games. Obviously, I feel that's a big rivalry for Liverpool fans outside the city. But everything looking good, and I am worried slightly. I know there's the fitness latest for us, or latest fitness, whatever you want to say, is Naby Keita is injured, or he has COVID. He had a positive test, right? And then he got a negative test, and now apparently he's not ready. So I think he got COVID, or he was meant to be in isolation for a bit. Thiago's back. Mane's back. There's report saying Thiago's going to start. And if he doesn't, I'll lose my shit because I want to watch him. I've waited so long to watch this come play. But that's enough of me talking. I'm going to send it off to Connor, as you can tell he's a Liverpool fan by wearing the shirt. Connor, your
Got the
thoughts?
jersey on.
Yeah, your thoughts, or your how have you been feeling? Like, how do you think this game's going to go? Who do you think will be the key players, and what's your overall thoughts on the game coming up?
Well, I think this sort of time last year, you'd be looking at the game. Liverpool would be hot favourites going into it,
Yeah,
but I think this time around, Everton have been obviously in really good form. Liverpool are just off the back of a really bad defeat to Villa. Ancelotti's he's a big manager. He understands all these challenges really well. So I'd say he'll put out a strong team and he'll have them well drilled, so they'll know exactly what to do. Now, as you can see, you have people like Calvert-Lewin and James Alan. They're all really in form at the moment. I think for Liverpool, if Thiago starts, that'll be like a key part of the team for them because they will need to find a way of breaking Everton down. They've had a load of nil-all draws over the last few seasons, and the reason for that is just not being able to break them down. I think Thiago gives something completely different that they don't usually have.
yeah,
Another interesting point is the Richarlison, Firmino, the South American lads. They've sort of been on international duty and they've only gotten back in the last couple of days.
yeah. It's such a
And
pain.
they've been playing full games, so it'll be interesting to see if that has any effect on them. Like there's a long journey back from South America, and especially sort of they've only been they've been playing with the national team twice. Like
Yeah,
so, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
yeah. That's actually an interesting point. The Brazil, the South Americans, every time it just feels like they always come back late. Obviously, they're further away from Europe, if that's the obvious probably reason for it. But it's just so frustrating when it's like, oh, Firmino wasn't in training today because he's still on a fucking plane. It's just like, and the thing is that you can't argue this because, like, if you watch any Brazil, I watch the All or Nothing one I'm watching at the moment, they absolutely love going away. Like, they look forward to it all the time. They actually look forward to the international breaks. I'd say some people actually don't. Like, if I was an England player, I wouldn't be looking forward to it at all, but because, like, obviously the pressure and all. But that's a different point. I'm I'll be interested to see what he puts out, the team Klopp. I think he needs to um I think he needs to definitely start Thiago, and the only other kind of spot I'd be looking at centre back, does he keep Gomez in, or does he play Fabinho? I think.
Person,
Sorry, go on.
personally, personally, I think Fabinho has to start as centre back. I
Yeah,
think Joe Gomez the other day. We know that Trent is an attacking right back, and you do need your centre back to cover. And Gomez just wasn't able to do that against Villa. Every single time they got down past Trent, Gomez looked all over the place.
hmm.
I think Fabinho needs to start, and I think Henderson and Wijnaldum will be in midfield with Thiago. That's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking. And Henderson needs to be in there to sort of his work rate in midfield to break up the play. So Everton are like they have a strong midfield at the moment, and it's a Merseyside derby. It's a big game. Henderson has experience from it, and you need him to win those big challenges. I'm not saying Milner should start, because I don't think he should. He'll probably get sent off in the first few minutes. But yeah, I reckon that'd be my midfield three anyway, and I'd put Fabinho centre back.
Yeah, I think if my problem is, like, I wouldn't mind putting Gomez back in because I think one of the best things you can do after a shocking day is a game is when you know their quality. Like we do know Gomez is quality. Like every Liverpool fan rates him. I think a good thing was to put him back in, but that means if he starts centre back, then Fabinho's starting in the field, and that means Thiago's not going to start, which that's not going to happen. I'm not having any of that. So, um, I think he'll go with his try to trust it. I was thinking that he wouldn't start Thiago, but now it's looking like he is going to. So we'll have to wait and see. I think we need big games from. We need a big game from our front three because every time we go to Goodison Park, they get one or two chances, and they literally like any other game of the season, they feel like, oh yeah, they took them away, and it just seems. I know it is about Goodison Park. I was thinking after lockdown, the first game back, I was like, there's no crowd there. Like it's gonna be different. There's gonna be goals, 0-0. I'm
Yeah,
hoping it's not 0-0. We need to go and win it. Like we need to look. We need to go. Look, you've had your fun. This is it. Like this is like normal service resumes. We're the best team in the league. We're going to show you today. And I actually think if we beat Everton away, like I think if we do on to win the league, that is the performance that like I'll look back on because I know how hard it is for us to win away. I think the last time we won there was 2016, and that was like a last minute goal from Mane. It was a dodgy goal, and then we draw every other year. So, um, Charlie and Luke, I think obviously we're kind of engrossed in the game. Like we're thinking about the opposition, we're worried about the opposition. Someone who's maybe not neutral, but you're outside that kind of like you're looking in from the outside. Like what's your
outside
thoughts
the
on?
bubble.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one. What are your thoughts on the game coming up?
I think obviously Liverpool are still the favourites. Like I'm expecting them to win, but if they, I think the point is if they don't win, serious questions are going to be asked. Like what they only lost one game last season, and 5 games in they'll have lost two if they lose this one.
Yeah,
They'll be what 6 points off the top.
yeah,
Like obviously Everton aren't going to keep with that form forever, but like you'd be quite concerned as a Liverpool fan if they were to lose. That's probably why you're
Oh
so
no, I'm actually
nervous about
shitting it
the
now.
game.
Like, oh, I'm actually like, I never get nervous at everything games, but like, I just need them. I need us to win this. Like, I like because I know how important this game is, and even though it's alright, I'm not saying like it's a title decider. It's just like the fact they're doing well now, and like it's kind of that thing is like you kind of. I don't feel threatened by them, to be honest with you, but like I look at them in a different way now. Not just because they won their first 4 games. It's because Ancelotti, their team, like you look at paper, like holy shit, when did they make all these signings? And like now they actually have a striker. I think that was always the problem replacing Lukaku. Calvert-Lewin looks like he's stepping up, and now I'm like, all right, these are serious. Um, yeah, like it's a tough one to call. Other talking points would be like Firmino. He played himself back into form for Brazil, but again, you have to look at the opposition. Um, he needs a big game. I love him. Just like look, a goal. He just needs to go. If he gets a goal, maybe the winner or something like that, that could be huge for him.
Yeah, I think Charlie mentioned there a minute ago about it's sort of a confidence and psychological thing for Liverpool if they lose. And I think it's kind of the same for Firmino at the moment. Like if he gets a goal against Everton, like obviously he scored for Brazil, and if he scores against Everton, that'll boost his confidence. And I think if he's doing really well up front, it'll boost the rest of the team as well. Like it's a real psychological thing, and that's why like we do know they've had issues going to Goodison for the last couple of years now, and it's just a mental barrier that they just need to try and break down for the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think um, I'm delighted Henderson's back. I know I'm delighted Mane's back. It's going to be a tight one. I think,
Do we think Henderson's going to start though? Because
yeah, he
he
has
only
to.
played the last 5 minutes for England.
I
You
think
know,
if I was in Jurgen Klopp's shoes now, this isn't me saying it's right or wrong, but sort of knowing the way Jurgen Klopp picks his teams, I think he's going to have to pick Milner or Henderson just for that sort of bit of
yeah, you will.
aggression in midfield,
He,
especially
I
for a
think,
derby game.
yeah,
I can't see him picking Milner. I just can't, and I think Henderson will start. obviously Kaida's out. I just can't see them making a midfield without Thiago at the moment. And Fabinho, like we've seen him at centre back. Like I think that's possibly his best position now.
Yeah, I think the
Certainly.
Thiago thing's interesting. It's usually Klopp likes to bet in players, but I think he's kind of realised like, look, this player is serious. He's not like he is that like elite level of footballer that you bring in to win champ. Like he could win you Champions League. He could be the difference across.
Well, he doesn't really have time to bet in. I mean, he's nearly 30, so like he's got to be playing now.
I know that, but like even Klopp, when I mean that, and like getting used to the system, and not putting him in a big game, he's gonna put him in. He knows how good he is. I really want to see him play. Henderson for me has to start. Like I don't like you outside in. You're like, all right, what's all this hype about? Like he's okay. I can see how he's good with the team. He's a good leader. He's so key. He's so key in that midfield. Without him in the field, we look so sluggish. We don't look arsed, to be honest with you. But when Henderson plays, it's like everyone's like, it's not. I don't think it's as if like he's on everyone's back. It's just he sets the tempo. It's like first challenge and he's in, and I was like, all right, let's follow suit, and that's why I think one of his underrated leadership qualities.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it as well, like you might say, oh, leadership qualities, this and that. But if you look, the real stat that shows why he's so important to the team is if you look at the win percentage with him, without him.
Yeah.
And if you look at it with him, it's so much higher. And it's the same with Wijnaldum as well. Now, I'm not saying I think Henderson's, he'd be a more important player to have in the team on against Everton than Wijnaldum. But like the win percentage, like that tells you the whole story about it. He's just
definitely.
Everyone around him, like he gets everyone motivated and sort of sets an example for everyone to follow.
Yeah, I think Wijnaldum definitely plays because since Naby's injured, there's no like Klopp doesn't really.
Yeah, he'll have to.
Yeah, like Klopp's he's gonna start him. Henderson's gonna start. The only thing I see different is, Fabinho or Gomez. I was thinking Matip. I don't think he's ready. He's only back from injury. He hasn't played. I think it'd be stupid to bring him in.
Yeah.
You could bring Matip. I'd say it's gonna be Fabinho, Gomez, and then if Fabinho starts, then Thiago midfield. If Gomez starts, Fabinho's gonna have to start unless he starts Thiago further up, leaves Henderson on the bench. It's hard to see Henderson being left out. I think he's always going to say to the boss like he's ready to play, and I think Klopp knows he's ready to play.
Yeah, I think Thiago, I can't see him playing anywhere other than like number 6. Like at the moment, like you can't like there's only 2 options there. Like I think it's either Thiago or Fabinho against Everton. Like there's 2 options, and like you'd want Thiago to play, as we said before, like the extra element, like his passing and his ability to break down the defense, like that'd be really needed against Everton.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it now. I'm nervous, but I'm confident. Look, it's just I don't like to bring him up all the time, but it's number 13 in there, Adrian. Oh Jesus Christ! I just feel like he's gonna fuck up. Now they have a fucking fraud net as well. Like he's awful, Pickford. I think he's definitely like I think he's one of the worst in the league. Like in terms of first choice, he's 100% one of the worst in the league. He's awful. He's an awful keeper. But I don't know, man. Adrian just needs to have a big game. Like I think if Adrian has a big game, we'll win. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like things that we're all thinking. Oh look, 2 shit keepers. Both defenses aren't looking tight. It's going to be a thriller. It never is. Like, form's out the window. Everything forms out the window. It's a derby. It's just going to be a scrappy game where one team's just going to have to show that bit of quality. And I don't know. I don't know if they're done. I don't know if you guys will be watching. I'll 100% be watching, of course. I honestly cannot wait for this. We can do score predictions now. Luke, what do you think?
I actually think it will be a good game this time. I can't see it being another 0-0. I'm going to go with 2-2.
2?
2-2, I say.
Oh, 2-2. I said 2-1. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, I've actually gone with 2-2 as well, to be honest.
Okay,
I,
Connor.
I can't see past the fact that Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are going to be all over that right-hand side of yours, so Gomez and
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold. I'll be concerned about that myself.
Yeah, I'm going with this sort of same idea that Charlie and Luke are going with. I think there will be goals in this game. You look at it like it's not just the fact that the defenses and goalkeepers have been poor, but like if you look at Everton's attack, like they will score. That's like nearly a guarantee they will score. I think Liverpool will score as well. And I'm going for a 3-2 win for Liverpool.
I'm going to go with 2-1 Liverpool. Of course, I'm going to back my team. I'm going to go 2-1 North. I think we'll go 2-0 up. They'll score a goal. It'll be shaky, but we'll close it out and we'll get the 3 points. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
And sorry, just one more point to add there. Sorry for cutting you off there, but I think the bench could be quite key. We've seen Jota. He was playing recently in the internationals, and like for Portugal, he scored 2 goals, got the assist as well for Bernardo Silva at the start, and he looked in really good form. And I'm backing him to come on and score the winner. To be honest with you, for the third goal to win the game.
He could start though. Like Klopp could play a 4-2-3-1 with Fabinho and Thiago holding, and then Firmino at calm if he wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think he'll shake it up that much for the derby. Like I think just with the 4-3.
Is Mane 100% fit though? Like Jota could play over here.
Yeah, he's 100% fit. He's back in training and he's fine. So yeah,
wraps up the Liverpool talk anyway.
Yeah, we've all done our predictions. Moving swiftly along to Saturday night football, I think it is. It is City v Arsenal. One thing I want to say, I think it only came in today. De Bruyne is out, which is huge. It gives Arsenal fans a lift going into this game. He is, I think we can all agree, he is so vital for that team. Of course, they can put replacements in. Of course, they can still beat them. Like you'd still probably would back them to beat them because I think they're at home. I know it doesn't really matter, but I still back them. But it'd be interesting to see what he does now because he could in midfield. We've talked about the midfield dilemma before. No De Bruyne, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Fernandinho, Rodri. I'll be interested to see what Pep does in this game. I think the danger for Arsenal, look, if City are at it, like I think they're going to win. Like if they're at it, that's debated. Like that, you doubt City be at it because how inconsistent they've been in recent months, even tail end last season. But I just want to wonder what you guys think about where do you think this game can be won or lost on both sides? Because I think it's more even than people think.
I think it's whether they can get Aubameyang. Arsenal, if they can get Aubameyang involved, then I'd actually fancy them to get something out of the game because we know what a great player he is. But some of the time, especially against you lot, they just didn't get Aubameyang involved in the league. Like, it's pretty isolated. I know he's playing out on the left now, but if they can get him involved, I'd back him to score because we all know City's defense is quite tragic at times.
Yeah, I think Aubameyang. I think he is literally there. He's their go-to man. He's sort in games like this. Sometimes I know it's big game. This kind of Aubameyang in big games. It's last season he did come up. He did show up in big games, especially in the FA Cup. I think Arteta. Look, we all know what Arteta's going to do. He's going to park it, and hit them on the break and do what they've been so good at since he's came in. I just want to ask Luke actually. Do you start Nicolas Pepe in this game? We talked about it last week. Or do you stay with Willian? Do you stay with experience? Or you say, you know what? We're going to start our best front. We're going to start our best front three. Forget about the system. Forget about what Pepe does for the system. What do you think? What do you think Arteta will do in terms of the attack?
It's a tough one because on one side you could say City's left back situation is very poor. So if we start Pepe, he could easily get in behind Mendy or Cancelo. But on the other hand, you could say they're dangerous going forward. Mendy and Cancelo, that's probably their strongest attribute. So maybe you start Willian to help defensively. But I'd probably go with Willian, to be honest, just because Pepe just doesn't seem to have the defensive knowledge. Like playing City at home, you don't really want to be going all out attack.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I think that would be a good player to bring on at the end. I think he's going to start with Lacko up front. Party in midfield. What do we think? Does he start? Like, can he? Like, would you start him so early? I think
he has to start. I think. Like he's not. He's better than everyone else, so he start.
Definitely, I completely agree. I think I don't think Arteta's in the room in a situation where he can just start experimenting. Well, not experiments, but what I mean is like settling them in and trying him in certain games and see how he fits in certain systems. With Party here now, does he switch to a fourth back? That's what I'm wondering. Because they've got that DM now that can hold it. Or does he stay with the... Look, I think he probably will stay at the three at the back because they're a City, but going forward, I think that's an interesting conversation to be had. I think Xhaka probably will be his partner in midfield. I know that for sure. I think it was going to be the one of the key areas. He can start. I think Saka could work in this game. Maybe he'll go for it. Maitland-Niles, considering he's a bit more defensively he's probably a bit more defensively solid. I'd say Maitland-Niles, maybe a bit more experienced than Saka. I'll be interested to see what Arteta picks. I don't know what you guys think about the wing backs in the wide areas, because I know City struggle out wide defensively. I just want to ask Charlie, like, if you're Arteta, would you be targeting kind of like the channels in behind? I know he likes to use that.
I'd say they're definitely a key area, but I wouldn't be surprised if he slightly tweaked this system for Party. Maybe instead of 3-4-3, just go with 3-5-2 or something. Aubameyang and Lacazette up from bottom set. But he'll probably stick with the 3-4-3 for this game anyway. I'd say Saka definitely has to play, in my opinion, just because his final ball is excellent, and I think he has better creativity than Maitland-Niles for sure. Maybe Maitland-Niles can move over to where Bellerin is, because personally I don't think Bellerin's the greatest wing back. Like, attacking wise, his final ball isn't great, and defensively he lacks like defensive know-how.
Arteta definitely rates.
But he was meant to be going to PSG on loan at one stage. Like, I think he was willing to get rid of him just for funds.
I don't think Bellerin's I don't think he has Bellerin in mind as being his like long-term wing back, long-term right back, whatever way you want to put it. I think he definitely sees him as somebody he can like utilize. But I think that would be an area in the future you can target, unless Bellerin improves it, of course. But we go into the team back line. See, I think it's actually difficult to tell. Like, does he not just go and just try and trust and go, look, I trust this team. I know they can get big results. I know David Luiz can have a big game. I know Gabriel's been solid. I know where Lacazette's been good. I know Willian can play a while. Or does he tweak it? Like, I think in a game like this, surely if Ozil on the bench, like, he can get around Rodri. He can get on the ball a little bit in the last 15 minutes. Like, we know how immobile their midfield is, City. Like, in terms of mobility, it's not the best. Do you see him on the bench, or do you just think that's just in the bodies? It's done.
I think he's finished at Arsenal. I don't think he'll make the bench. But like, he's definitely their most creative player still. Maybe along with Saka, but like, clearly Ozil has more quality than him. But I think the main thing is, again, with Aubameyang, he may have to move him in off the left just for one game, because realistically he's not going to get anything out of Kyle Walker. He matches him for pace, and defensively he's quite sound, unless Walker makes a big mistake, which he doesn't do often. I'd think about moving Aubameyang maybe to the centre for a game.
Yeah, I think on City, I think Arteta will definitely have a plan for it anyway. He knows that City like to play. I think the areas you want to target City are very evident. I just want to ask Connor, who do you think, like, in terms of like City going forward, like, I don't think or is Jesus back or Aguero? No, they're not. They're not back, are they? Aguero or Jesus?
No,
No.
don't think
All right.
I'm not. I don't think so though.
All right. Let's just say he isn't. Like, what would the front three be looking like for City if you were Pep? How would you get it? How would you target the weaknesses of like the Arsenal backline?
Yeah, well, like I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of options. I was just gonna go back to one point there that you said earlier about David Luiz quickly. Um, as you can see, like you've seen him this season, like he can play like Harry Maguire one week, and then the next week he can just be world class. Like you don't know them. I think that'll be big. Like if because I think City will get chances. I think people like or not Sancho. I nearly said Sancho there. People like Sterling, Phil Foden, even like I didn't particularly rate him that much, but this season, like he seems to be getting in on the goals. And really, like he's gotten a good few goals this season already. And obviously De Bruyne's big miss. I don't think City are necessarily about the front three. It's sort of how they work as a unit, especially like sort of the midfield, the creativity there. Obviously Sterling, I think he'll be key. If he's up against Bellerin possibly. And I think like I do think that City will get in behind Arsenal a good few times, especially with the back three. I think Arsenal's fullbacks will get exposed, but it'll be interesting to see how they get their creativity if De Bruyne isn't there. So that'll be yeah.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne's just one, like, he's such a big miss. I know City have done well without him. Like, it's not as if like they're like not good without him. I just think like he's always seems to be that. I just think he's so intelligent. He's able to find spaces and be in the right place at the right moment. And look, they have good replacements they can bring. Bernardo Silva in, Phil Foden, and players like that. But I think when you don't have that kind of like outball, that player you can go to, it will be difficult, especially against this Arteta system. He likes to sit back, he likes to soak good pressure. I think I'm still interested to see why he plays in the field. I think that's huge because like suddenly looking at Arsenal in the field now, you're like, hang on a minute, like not a bad midfield now. Like you don't, it's not like how it used to be. We were able to roll over them in midfield. They were just spineless. They brought in Party, looking different now. I think Xhaka's found his partner. I think Xhaka will probably go up another level, if I'm being honest. It's an interesting one, definitely. I don't know. I'm definitely going to watch it because it's on the evening. I have time. I'm still kind of debating what I'm going to go with in terms of score. I'll go on my prediction first. I think City are going to win 3-1. I just think I think City will have that game where it's just like they'll show their quality. They're definitely good enough to beat them without De Bruyne. Definitely good enough. They have the quality. Yes, I'm going with 3-1. I don't know about you.
One down as well, but this is sort of before I had the news about De Bruyne. I think the thing with City is if they have a bad few games, people seem to write them off, and then they just come back with this performance. They'll like beat anyone in the league with it. I think they'll have one of them against Arsenal. I think Arsenal will have a really good game, but I'm going to back City 2-1 here, I reckon.
Charlie?
Yeah, I went with 2-0 City, but that was on the basis that De Bruyne was going to play. I'm not so certain of it now, but I suppose I'll stick with it. I'd say they'll probably operate with Sterling down the middle and probably Fernan Torres and Mahrez to either side. So there's still like problems for the Arsenal defence with those three. But you'd have to question their decision to sell Sane now that they have so many injuries. Like obviously he wanted to go, but that was partly due to his treatment from Pep. Like He
Yeah.
was apparently playing him out of position since he's come to Bayern. He said his favourite position is on the right. Now, I can't remember Pep ever using Sané on the right. He was always stuck to the
Yeah.
left touchline most of the time. That's probably why he wanted out in the end. So, and their replacement, Ferran Torres, I mean, he's young, obviously, but he doesn't look like anything near to what Sané was. So, it'd be
Definitely.
interesting to see how he plays, if he even plays at all.
Yeah, definitely. Luke, what about yourself?
I've gone with 2-1 City. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal get a result. If I was Arsenal, I'd fancy myself with a real chance against these, because this is the best chance you're going to have of beating City. No striker, no De Bruyne. I mean, we can't get away from the fact that City, even without De Bruyne and Aguero and Jesus, are still a better team than Arsenal. And if they perform to their level, they'll comfortably beat them. But City haven't performed to their top level, I would say, in about a year. Now, they've got through enough games, but they haven't performed for 90 minutes at a world-class level for a long time. So
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to go City across the board anyway, but obviously you can tell we've gone City across the board. It's one of those ones for me where you just have to we have to wait until the team just comes out before I really kind of have my brain starts working with it, because it's so unpredictable who's going to play, especially with injuries and new players coming in and stuff like that. But moving swiftly along to the red half of Manchester, Newcastle away. Take it away, boys.
well, it's United playing again, so we don't know what to expect as usual. I mean, the main goal for United just has to be St. Maximum, just stop him at all costs, really, because he is Newcastle's attack, basically, unless they start Andy Carroll and want to boot balls up to him. So we need to stop St. Maximum, and we need to certainly put in better defensive displays than what we put in the first 3 games. I don't think Harry Maguire should start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Solskjaer does start him.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting with Maguire, because Solskjaer's actually come out today and said he's a doubt for the game. Now, I actually would have played Maguire because I would have operated with a back 3, because like defensively this season we've just been shambolic. So I would have gone with Maguire, Boy and Lindelof in a back 3, or maybe even Shaw on the left. But if Maguire's not there, I don't think we can operate with that, with the likes of Boy, Lindelof and Shaw. Like, it would just be too dodgy. I was planning on Telles playing, but he's come out and said also that he had a long flight from Sao Paulo, so it doesn't look like he's going to play now. So it looks like it's just going to be the same old United team minus Martial. Now, without Martial, I don't see us getting anything from this game. I mean, we went there last season without him, and it was diabolical, to be honest. We didn't create a single chance. Our midfield was completely overrun. I'm sure Longstaff will play again, even though he never plays any other time other than United. I'm not sure if he's going to play though. I think Luke might have said he's injured, but if he does play, I'm sure he's fancying himself to score again with the shambles that our team is at the moment. Your man Palestri, I don't see him playing. I'd say either a Gallo or James is going to play, which significantly makes our attack worse.
Does Cavani not start?
Cavani's can't play. He's in quarantine.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're in serious trouble here. I don't think people realise. It's pathetic, really. I mean, Cavani's available for 8 months. I think like it was 1 or 2 days previous we needed to sign him and he'd be able to play this game. I mean, that's just horrendous from the board. The fact that we didn't have him tied down so that he could play the Newcastle game. I mean, like, he was available throughout the whole summer, and it just shows how desperate we were to get him on deadline day. Like, he had to be signed up and ready to play the Newcastle game, but no, we waited, and now he can't play, and now Igalo or maybe even Greenwood has to start through the middle. So we're worse off.
Yeah, I think Like I was like, if Greenwood plays in the middle, that means you have to start James. Your attack is not looking great. Obviously you just said I didn't hear all these comments about Tellez, so he's not in. Like I don't think Newcastle team are just scrappy and hard to break down, hard to beat. Is a great game considering how many players you've out at the moment, through suspension and obviously with quarantine and COVID and stuff like that. I'm guessing Pogba starts, if I'm not wrong. I don't know.
I mean, he will start, but I mean, he played well for France, so I'm not going to go in on him as hard as I was going to. I probably would start him myself. If he had to perform poorly for France, I definitely would have gone with Van de Beek. Now, it definitely depends how I think Pogba and Rashford play. If they show up like they were last season, Rashford very inconsistent after lockdown. Obviously, that had something to do with his injury, but he just wasn't at it, missing the target nearly every shot, giving the ball away loads. Pogba getting caught in possession in the middle of the field. Like if that happens, Newcastle could have a field day if we're being honest. But if they can show some form, obviously Rashford has been quite good this season so far, scored again for England. So if he's on it, we might have a chance. Like I don't see us winning this game, to be honest. Our squad is just too depleted. I've actually gone for a loss myself. I think Newcastle will nick it 2-1. It's not looking good for United at all. And
is that all he got?
They have, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better.
Is that all he got?
I mean, there's reports coming out that if they lose to Newcastle, he's going to be replaced by Allegri or Pochettino.
Yeah,
I personally wouldn't do it that early, but
we need to win. We need to win for United.
It looks like he could be losing the next 4 to 5 games easily.
I saw. Yeah.
Who do we have? Newcastle, PSG.
I'm just thinking about the United Newcastle game there, and I know you guys are saying Newcastle might have a field day. I've like, it's probably a slightly controversial opinion in your eyes, but I think the Newcastle see the United team as weak at the moment, and they'll go and attack them. And you do know that United, like their transition on the counter attack, they can literally get a goal out of nowhere. Like we've seen it time and time again against small teams. Like against Newcastle, they went down, wasn't it? They went 2-0 down and they won the game 3-2. I'm not saying that's going to happen against Southampton. They went 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-2. I just think that United will get a few breaks tomorrow. I think Rashford and Dan James, if he does start on the right, or even Greenwood, I think they will have space to run into on the counter. And I'm actually backing United to win 2-1 in this one. I think the Newcastle, like it's a big risk to say that United will win this game, even if it's only against Newcastle. But
I mean, you have to remember it's big Steve Bruce we're talking about here. I mean, he's just a shithouse manager, if we're being honest. He's not going to come out all guns blazing. He's going to sit back, be tight defensively, and then he's going to try and hit us on the break. And with the way our defense is playing at the moment, you saw how we played against Brighton. I'd say it'll work a treat with Saint Maximin and Armour on if he plays.
If you're talking about Newcastle sitting back, I think United will sit back as well. So like the ball is just going to be like left in the middle. Like I reckon both teams won't want to attack. I reckon both teams will be trying to sit back and catch the other one out. Like United, they don't have the quality to break down Newcastle if Newcastle just sit back, and United will know that they can literally just get hit on the counter. And it's the same for Newcastle. Like they'll both be trying to be defensive.
I'll tell you how United win this game. Bit of Jay Lings. Start him. Get him in. Let him run riot. Like his pressing is unmatched. Like honestly, Juan Mata instead of Dan James? No.
I mean, I wouldn't be against Mata playing because his form this season has been quite good, but like I can't see Ollie not selecting James, to be honest. Seems to be a bit of a teacher's pet, James.
Yeah,
it's hard to see because Mata, like as you said, he has been in good form. Like he does offer, like I'm not saying like he's a really creative player, but like he does pick out a pass that like James wouldn't be able to pick out. Like, and he's obviously from set pieces, Mata is a threat as well.
Yeah. Maybe a change of formation, possibly. Play Van de Beek, play Pogba, play Bruno, play Matic as well, or Fred, maybe. That could be an
Oh,
option.
and sorry, I said I think United will hit them on the break. I don't think United will score from hitting them on the break. As I said, I'm backing United to win 2-1.
Yeah.
I think United will score first, Newcastle will equalise, and I think Bruno Fernandes will score 2 penalties in the game. That's my
Wouldn't
prediction.
put it past them. Would not put it past them. I think considering your attacking options, surely you might go with a change of formation, play more midfield, just try outplay them. Play Van de Beek, play Pogba, play Bruno. You could even play 4-1-2-1-2, right? Like a diamond, and play Bruno as kind of like at the top, but kind of as a false nine. Pun intended.
I mean, I would definitely change the system. I mean, our winger options, I mean, for Man United, let's just call a spade a spade. They're absolutely pathetic. Dan James, Pellistri, Rashford, Lingard, who's not even a winger.
Class, mate.
Now, I would certainly start Greenwood and Rashford as split strikers,
Yeah.
and then have maybe Bruno playing in the middle of them, and then Pogba, Van de Beek, and then maybe Matic or Fred behind them. But it's going to come down to our defence, really. I mean, I think it's fair to say if we don't win this game and we keep defending how we're defending at the moment, we'll probably be in the relegation zone in a few weeks' time. If you look at our fixtures, we will. Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yeah, I was looking at them the other day. It's waiting for Ollie now. We need a few jammy wins. We need to keep Ollie in the job. I think when it's about to get sacked, he'll win. He always seems to do that.
Yeah, I think you will win against Newcastle. The other thing you were saying is about changing the system. I think Ollie's he's too sort of oblivious to that. I think he'll just sort of stick to his guns and just keep the 4-2-3-1 because that's what he's used to. And I think a change of shape, obviously, that would be a big help for them, especially if you don't have Martial playing or Cavani. You need to change up the system a bit, unless he just puts Big Don up front and he scores.
Well, I'm just going to come back to the Van de Beek signing here. I mean, Ollie has just fucked himself, really. I mean, people are saying, oh, Van de Beek has to play. Oh, we need to change the system to get him in. We shouldn't have signed him, because now it's just heaping pressure on Ollie. Oh, take out Pogba, take out Bruno. He's not going to take out either of them. And the three of them in midfield together isn't going to work unless you play a diamond. So either he has to change from his preferred formation, or he has to drop one of our two best players. So it's not a great situation Ollie's put himself in by approving the Van de Beek signing. We definitely would have been better off signing a right winger or a centre back, because we need starters in the team. We certainly didn't need a backup attacking midfielder when there were so many starting positions which we needed to upgrade on.
Yeah. You guys have already given your predictions already. My prediction, you could just nick it. It'd be very United to get a jammy win, but I'm going to go with 1-1. 1-1. Yeah, 1-1.
I mean, it's Newcastle away. It's just one of those games where you're just don't really fancy Newcastle away, Palace away and Southampton away. You're just I don't really fancy. It's definitely not going to be a 3-0 or a 4-0 to it's always going to be a tight game. So there's a risk always there that we could lose.
Yeah, I think the fact that one positive you can look at is the fact that the stadium will be empty. I think if you have the Newcastle fans sort of on top of you, slagging Harry Maguire if he takes a bad touch or something like that, I think it is good that it will be empty. And I think that will play a big part in the game, especially if Newcastle, if they don't have a crowd behind them, that's the thing that drives them forward. You saw, remember when they beat City? I think it was it 2 seasons ago, possibly towards the end of the season, and that was literally just driven by the supporters, where they don't have that at the moment.
You spoke about Harry Maguire there. I'd just like to point this out. He is currently embarrassing the entire football club. I mean, he goes off in international duty, manages to get himself sent off. I mean, you think, okay, I'm in bad form. Let's just keep things simple. Try and make as few mistakes as possible. And what does he do? He lunges in to 2 challenges like
He's
a complete
awful.
circus clown, and
I'm actually
gets himself sent off. All he had to do was keep himself out of the news for a week. And what did he do? He made it worse for himself. And apparently he's managed to get himself injured now as well. Absolute clownery.
Yeah.
It's
I'm so
embarrassing.
sick of-
Charlie,
I'm
I just have
Sorry, go on, Connor.
I have a few points about that. So first of all, if you look at where that first challenge was, it was like up at the touchline, nearly near the halfway line. Like I don't know what he was doing there, as it was, and like that could have been a red card. Like the way he went in. The second one was really dangerous as well. But I also saw reports like they're sort of like they're not official like on Sky Sports or anything, sort of just on Instagram of people wondering if the whole incident in Greece has affected his performances at all. Like what do you think?
You don't go into a football pitch and think, oh, remember that thing that happened in Greece like a month ago? You're concentrating on the football. You're concentrating on where you have to be, who you have tomorrow. You're not thinking about, oh, I might be going to jail, surely.
It's not just
No,
it's the fact that
like he's thinking about that. I'm just saying, like, do you think that's like affected his confidence? Like, not that he'd be thinking about it, but like just in general, like
it probably has. But the English media need to stop giving their own players just out every time. Like,
yeah, I was going to say that. Like the English bias, it's
a joke. No, it's a joke. Like every other, like anyone else in any different country, you say this player is awful. Like he's awful. Like he's a very bad centre back. I'm sorry. Like he's a bad centre back. Like he's not good enough for Manchester United. And like, look, like we all know this. Like I'd say he probably knows he's not good enough himself. Like he's still a good set. Like he's a Premier League centre back, but he's not United level. And
but
English media,
if he was playing for like Real Madrid, he would have been booed off the pitch all the time. The entire Bernabeu would have united against him by now. But we're here. Oh, give him a chance. Oh, he's fine. Oh, look, he was quality last season. He wasn't quality. He was doing his job, playing defend. And most of the time, like, he cost us a few goals. Like, against Bournemouth, he got humiliated by Stanislas. Against Norwich, he got done by Onel Hernandez. I mean, these aren't quality players here. These are bums who got relegated in the end. And he's getting done by them, costing us goals. Like,
go on, Stephen. Go on.
Like, I don't like think he deserves any abuse. I'd say that whole Greece thing was very traumatic and all that. I know it probably did affect his confidence. My only I don't mind that. Like that's fine. Like that's actually it is an excuse, but like it's not as if like it's the only reason why he's making these mistakes. Like you know what I mean? He is not a great footballer. Add that to his confidence being low. It's not gonna end well. Like he is not good enough for Manchester United. He's a Premier League centre back, like I said. I think my only problem is with the English media. Like if that was Pogba, man, oh my god, the chap would be like not good enough, 100 million euros, all this fucking crap. And like I'm not a huge fan of like Pogba's attitude, but like if you're gonna like cut Maguire some slack, cut Grealish some slack. Like he's English as well. I don't understand that. Cut Pogba some slack. Cut who else in the league? Like I don't know. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head. Like or Sterling. Like cut him some slack as well. Even though I know he's English, but like look, I think we all know what I'm referring to. Like in terms of
the English media. The English media need to stop using the Greece incident as an excuse. Like, it's not an excuse. He shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. Captain of Manchester United, he shouldn't have been doing that. So they're basically using something he did that was bad as an excuse for his shit football performances. It's ridiculous. There's no excuse to be made there. He shouldn't have been getting himself arrested in Greece. Like
no matter what happened. Yeah, like obviously it's difficult off the pitch. I get that. But stop making don't make it it can be an excuse for him. But like, don't stop talking about it. Like, you're not making it any better by talking about it. Because I just don't like the hypocrisy. Like, if they gave him an out, like that's an excuse. But they all said, like, say Pogba's not performing well. I remember someone gave an example. I think his dad died in 2018, and he was getting slated for his performances, and no one even like referenced it. And like a lot of time confidence can do with the fact, like Lingard, for example, like we all know like the backstory, he was caring after his sister and stuff like that, or I don't know if it was sister or something like that. Like obviously players are people, but like my only problem is it's like you can't give someone an excuse and then don't give it to someone else. And it's just this weird bias I can't stand at all. And I think we all need to realize that, like, look, what happened in Greece is not the reason why this is happening. Like, this could have happened without Greece. We all know that. Like he was doing it last season, not to this extent. He's making mistakes. We all saw this. This could have happened without Greece. This could have happened with, other things off the pitch. Like he's prone to this. Like, why is this? Like, why does it take people outside of England and without English bias to point this out? Like,
I think it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse because of the defense he actually is getting from the likes of the class of '92, apart from Beckham. Like, they just continuously come out into the media and just embarrass us with these ridiculous comments. I mean, Scholes come out midweek questioning Martial. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. 23 goals last season, our top scorer. I would say our best player, along with Bruno, by quite some distance, if we're being honest, like all non-penalty goals. And that's who you're questioning when the defenders who are there can't defend. The midfielders can't create any chances at the moment, even though they clearly have the quality when playing for their national teams. You don't see Pogba playing passes like that for United. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The likes of Gary Neville coming out and Paul Scholes questioning Martial as a 9, questioning whether Greenwood should stay on the left, whether he should come in and replace Martial as the 9. It's embarrassing. Like, Martial is the most important player in the attack, and if you can't realise that, then you just shouldn't be in football punditry.
Yeah, like it's just.
Yeah, I think as well. If you look at it's almost like when they signed Maguire, they're looking for sort of like the captain, leader, legend type player, like he's English and stuff like that. And they gave him the title as captain, or they didn't give him the armband straight away, but they gave him the armband quite quickly, and they're sort of like, here, like, you need to be the leader of our defense. And they're sort of, it's almost like you were saying about Gary Neville and Paul Scholes, people like that, they have the wrong idea. Like, I think you should back people, but there comes a time when you need to say this isn't working. It's the same with like Ollie. Like, I'm not saying Ollie should be sacked, because I think that the squad he's working with, I think, like, is shocking. Like, they don't have any depth at all. Their starting 11, like, they wouldn't challenge, like, they barely challenge for Champions League, even though, like, they've got it the last couple of or they got it last season. Like, that was just due to other teams being really poor. But I think Maguire, sort of, all this pressure is being heaped on him, and people are they're just backing him because they don't it's almost like they don't have a falling out with like people in the club.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All the class in '92, they purposely don't say anything because they want a job at United in the future. Now, you're never going to get it, Paul Scholes, because you couldn't fucking manage all of them, and now you're the manager of Salford. So please shut the fuck up for a start. Now, also, I would just like to say, when Greenwood gets into trouble in England, he's a young lad. When Rashford plays shit for the entirety of post-lockdown, he's injured. His injury, he needs to get back to. When Maguire plays shit, it's the Greece incident. When Martial doesn't play well, we need to sign someone better. That's what Neville and Scholes and all say. When Pogba doesn't play well, we need to sell him, get him out. He's not doing enough. But like, the only past United player who will actually come out and criticise any English player is Evra. And you know the reason why? It's because he's not fucking English. The English bias is an absolute embarrassment. I mean, pull your head out of your arse and just call it like it is, instead of saying, he's English, I can't say anything about him. Let's just make as many excuses for him as I can. It's a joke.
Yeah. I honestly do not understand it.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Luke was saying there.
Yeah.
I think, I just said it briefly there at the end, and then Luke developed on it. I think there is this whole sort of arrogance thing about the whole English thing. And also, what you said about them trying to get future jobs there. Like, you can see that, like, Gary Neville, Portugal's like they're literally like they're afraid to
It's
give out about
embarrassing.
the owners. Like,
No, it's honestly like
um,
you see me in the group chat. Like we talk about. Sorry to cut you off, but we talk about Ireland. I slate every fucking player for call how it is if they're playing shit. I don't care if they're Irish. Like I honestly don't. Like I slate any player if they're playing shit. I back any player if they're playing well. But this English bias, I literally cannot get over. It's the weirdest thing. It's so weird.
Do you see the standard that the Irish football's at the moment?
Yeah.
A Portsmouth player, a Portsmouth like youth player, was like they came on and nearly scored the winner, and like they're our best player. Like that is a standard that we're working with.
Yeah. Like,
anyway, enough about Ireland. We'll need to do a whole podcast on Ireland.
I don't mind moving on to them. After this, I don't mind moving on to them. Like,
it's a Premier League preview. We can't be talking about Ireland.
I still want to rant about them because they're so fucking shit. But anyway, maybe back to United. Yeah.
Just stay tuned for our next podcast on our podcast about Ireland.
Oh, like literally, it's just I'll be slating. Just let you know, I'll be slating most players. Like, I'll be calling how it is, and I'll like.
I mean, there's not much to praise, is there? Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll do it another time. But I think I think we all can agree on the whole Maguire situation and English bias and stuff like that. Going back to the game though, I know we got sidetracked. I said 1-1. What you lads think, Charlie and Luke, being United fans?
Well, Charlie's already backed us to lose, which I wouldn't be surprised, but I am going to say a 2-1 win, just because it's Manchester United against Newcastle with no fans. We are a better team than them, so if we perform at a good level, we should win.
I kind of went for 2-1.
I said the same as Luke there. Like, and it's sort of the same reasoning. Like Manchester United, like big club and everything, they're sort of. I think they'll just come away with it. Like, even if they do score 2 Bruno Fernandes penalties, I just think they will win. I can't see them. I'll put it this way: I can't see them losing. So I think they'll either win. They might draw, but I can't see them losing.
I don't know. I said a draw, 1-1. I just got a feeling they won't lose. I don't know what it is. Like sometimes I can tell you they're going to lose. I just feel like one of those games where they'll win. I think we've covered most we can about United. It's one of those things to wait and see. And I think the juicy part is when they eventually fucking lose and Charlie and Luke can have their time in the spotlight.
Scathing rant 2.0.
Yes, scathing rant 2.0. Yeah. I think it's important we don't focus on the big teams a lot. So one of the games that caught my eye were Leeds v Wolves. I don't know what you guys have seen of both teams. I think that is a very intriguing game. Two managers who have very kind of what's the word? Like they have systems that like are different. Their systems are very they kind of swear by their system and they're very like articulate and like as managers and experienced and I'll try watch this game. We'll see. I don't know what time it's exactly at, but I think Bielsa, the way he's playing, it's just this. I've never seen a team play like it. Honestly, I don't know what you guys have seen of Leeds.
Do you know? What I was going to compare them. I think Leeds are very like their fan base and their passion is I compare to Newcastle, but the difference is Leeds can actually play football. Newcastle can't. Like obviously we saw Leeds against Liverpool, City. They've played like the two best teams in the country, arguably two of the best teams in the world at the moment. And like they drew against City, they should have won that game. They're very unlucky against Liverpool. Like I'll say like they were unlucky. Like they gave away a penalty in the first few minutes that I didn't think was a penalty at all. And the amount of times, like even if they go goal down, they come back, go goal down again. They just seem to keep coming back. And I think Wolves are a team that we saw them against. I was watching them against Tottenham. I can't remember. I think it was 2 seasons ago as well. And they went 2-0 down, and then they won the game 3-2. They're just Wolves and Leeds just seem to be teams that are they won't give up, and I think there'll be loads of goals in the game. So it should be entertaining.
Leeds can't defend. So that's that. Like Leeds cannot defend. That's one thing I will criticize about Bielsa. I know he gets a lot of praise, but honestly, they can't defend. I think City could have scored a few goals against them. They've been good. I think actually, in fairness, their keeper did bail them out against Sheffield, even though they got the clean sheet. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the highlights, even watched the game. Like, he made 4 or 5 ridiculous saves. They played 4 games. I don't know who they played last. Who did they play last? Who did they play before the international break?
Was it Fulham? No.
Sheffield United.
It was Sheffield. Sorry, it was Sheffield. And then they played. They beat Fulham, or they drew. I can't remember.
No. I think didn't they beat Fulham 4-3?
Yeah,
they lost to Liverpool 4-3.
Yeah,
and then they drew against City. But that City game, like they should have beaten City in that game. They had so many chances.
Yeah.
Really good chance.
Wolves obviously wear Jota now. I'd be interested to see how they line up. I'm just so like, I hate to manage against Bielsa. I don't know about you guys. I hate to have to set up a team because you haven't a fucking clue what he's going to do. Like I don't know. It's as if, I don't know, but like, Dallas, yeah? He starts as a left back, he plays the midfielder. So you have like a lopsided team. Oh, I don't know, man. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And I think that's why so many managers praise him. It's just the fact that like he's just such an innovative manager that like people are just, other managers like Pep, like literally like gushes over him every time he gets asked about him. Does anyone had like, who's impressed you at Leeds specifically? Charlie, who's impressed you the most? What players?
Well, Patrick Bamford. I think he scored a few goals. Like, he's been in the Premier League a couple of times now and didn't really work out. He's come back this time and he's actually scoring a few goals. So I suppose that's a positive. Also, Helder Costa didn't do too well at Wolves, but now he seems to be doing quite well. I think he scored 2 goals. Who was it again? Was it Fulham? Yeah, against Fulham. Had a pretty good performance. Looks to have improved from his Wolves day. He'll be wanting to score against Wolves as well. But I think like Leeds just cannot defend, and with Adama Traore on the pitch, I don't think they stand a chance, to be honest. I'd say they'll get ripped apart a couple of times. I was going to say this game could turn into a shit show for Leeds at the back. They play one-on-one marking, like one-on-one high press game. If Adama Traore gets on the ball 1v1, he's going to beat you every time. And he's probably going to take 2 or 3 players out of the game. And that'll create a lot of space for the likes of Jimenez and maybe Pedro Neto, who might play as well. So I could see Leeds conceding quite a few goals in this game, but I think they'll score a few as well.
Yeah, that's the thing Blake was saying there. Like, there'll be goals in the game. Like, you can guarantee that. Like, I think, like, obviously Wolves, like, Leeds defense is just really bad, so they will leak goals. But then Leeds are they're almost relying on, they want to score more than they, like, obviously that's the point of a game, to score more than the opponent. But like Leeds they know that it's almost like they accept they're going to concede goals, so they pile forward and they've scored. I can't remember how many goals they've scored this season. They've scored 4 though in the 4 in the Fulham game, 3 against Liverpool. So like, that they won't have an issue scoring. So are we doing predictions yet, or are we?
I think like, look, I'd like to move on to. I want to do Chelsea and Tottenham quickly, so we can move on quickly if you want. I'm going. What am I going? 3-2 Wolves.
I've gone 4-3. Now I think this will be 4-3, but I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm going to back Leeds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to 3 Leeds.
I've gone with 3-2 Wolves, but that's optimistic for Leeds. Like, I'd say they could concede quite a few here, for being honest. It depends how they go up against Traore. Like, if they actually defend with some sense.
If they go man for man, they're fucked.
Yeah, I mean that lad. There's new signing. I think his name is Cock or something. He's just
Yeah.
atrocious. He's conceded
Oh,
two
Yeah,
penalties already this
so
season.
bad.
He's
So
he's
bad.
dreadful. Now I know the handball against Liverpool was harsh, but like he looks very dodgy. And I
yeah.
Yeah,
say Jimenez and
he's
Traore will have a field day against him.
Luke, what about yourself?
I've gone 3-3 because only by the fact that Leeds are at home, so I think they will get something out of the game. But if they were away, I would say Wolves win.
Yeah. We've been going for a while now, so we'll do. I suppose we do Chelsea and Tottenham quick. Chelsea Saints. Chelsea off the back of 4-0 win. Southampton.
2 wins. Two
Two
wins in a
wins.
row.
2 wins in a row for Southampton. Chelsea off a win. Chelsea at home. What are we saying? I'm saying 3-1 Chelsea.
I said I think I put it down as 2-2. Now I think the thing with Southampton is whenever I say Southampton are gonna like lose against a big team, they always go on and beat the team. And then whenever I say they're gonna like draw or lose, so they always do the opposite to what I say. So like I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea went out and won 3-0. But yeah, I just think I think it depends how Chelsea could have a really bad day at the back again.
Yeah.
Like against West Brom, you don't know. I mean, like Danny Ings, like obviously he's in really good form at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna say 2-2 for that game.
I've gone with 3-1 to Chelsea. It sort of depends how Southampton go about it. For me, like against Tottenham, I mean that was just an absolutely suicidal approach from the manager playing on the halfway line. It was absolutely ridiculous, and they rightly got destroyed by Tottenham. They go about it the same way against Chelsea. They'll get destroyed by Werner, and I wouldn't be surprised if he bags at least 2 if they play on the halfway line. If they don't play on the halfway line, I definitely think Ings can get in and score against that shit Chelsea defence. But I do still think I'm going for 2-0 Chelsea. I just think they'll have Ziyech and Pulisic back now as well. Their attack is just going to be too good for Southampton.
And Charlie?
That was me.
He just said.
Man, I can't tell the difference between you and his voice, but I'm trying to multitask as well. I'm trying to find out who Tottenham are. I knew they were playing West Ham. I didn't need to look at my phone.
Yeah, no, Tottenham was. See, actually, in the news though today, they were saying Mourinho said that Bale could be playing against West Ham, which I mean, if he is, could be big.
Would you start him?
I'm actually not sure. You see, you don't know what he's been doing over the international break, as in like behind the scenes. If the lads have been on international break, like they could be wrecked. Like obviously, Mourinho wasn't very happy with the amount of game time that Kane was getting, but like I think Kane's fully fit. Like I don't think there's an issue there.
Yeah.
I think Bale will probably be on the bench. But like if he did start him, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right, so what are we going then? I'm going to go Tottenham 3-1. Nah, 2-0.
Yeah,
2-0. 2-0.
I think I went 2-1 Tottenham. I mean, even if they play, I'd say they'll still win. Like West Ham have been actually better than I thought they would be this season, but I don't see them getting anything out of Tottenham.
Connor?
Yeah, I predicted 2-0 Tottenham.
I predicted 3-1 Spurs, but I think we have to remember West Ham are coming off the back of 2 actual brilliant results. I mean, they trashed Leicester and who was it? Wolves. They were 2 impressive results, but I think Spurs being at home and after absolutely destroying United, they'll have the confidence to go and easily beat West Ham.
Yeah, I think Tottenham are looking good this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get on this season. I think they're. I put them in as my top 4 currently. Yeah, it'll be an interesting match. I think. Look, we also have to remember, boys. There's not just the Premier League on this weekend. It's a huge game on Saturday, I think, or tomorrow rather. Is Inter Milan. Inter and AC. We're not going to talk about it. I just want to let you know that I actually watch football outside the Premier League, so I'm a bit more coached than these guys. But look, it's a huge jam-packed weekend of football. I'm sure the lads can't wait. I can't wait anyway. I can't wait for tomorrow midday, and really looking forward to it. I think that wraps us up anyway. I'd like to thank Connor, Luke, and Charlie for coming on once again.
I'd just like to say, if Matty Longstaff scores against United on whatever day, Saturday, I will no longer be taking part in the podcast.
That's fine. Okay, no worries. We'll make sure you can. I'll come back to that if he does now. If he does score, I'll come back to that. But anyway, thanks a million for watching. If you are watching this, please, if you can, share as much as you can, like, subscribe. If you're enjoying the content, of course, like and subscribe. And all our Twitter and all that will be in the description below. Thanks a million for watching, and we'll see you next time.